Alright, part 2 of the video, we got it in the air. First thing I'll start with is this license plate bracket. We took the time to make a really nice bracket for that camera. I checked with Pioneer to make sure it was compatible with the backup camera in the stereo. They said it was. As it turns out, that's one thing on the car that doesn't work. I even sent the head unit to Pioneer, which I have all the paperwork included, so that you can maybe further investigate that. You know, after installing it, they tell me the only camera that'll work is the Pioneer camera, which is about that big. So maybe you'll be able to make something happen with that. I was not. Okay, so back here in the back, right here what you got, these are coolers. I'll turn on this light. This is a transmission cooler with a fan. They have their own thermostat on them. They don't run very much, hardly at all. The tranny doesn't get that hot because these are really efficient coolers. There's one on each side. This is the button. If you see some rubber up here, that is from me taking it to the drag strip. We're gonna clean that off while we got it in the air. But this button here is the button that opens the door if you lose the remote or something. Back and back, this is the height independent rear end. The coils are adjustable. They may need adjusted more. We've adjusted them once since the installation because we had a little tire rubbing up in there. Now it's not rubbing, they're close, but it looks like it's settled in. It's gonna be okay. Basically, these are your regular service calipers in the back. And then these are your emergency brake calipers and your brake rotors, your half shafts up in here. We'll walk up through. The exhaust system is a one-piece exhaust on both sides till you get to the coupler here for the tip that we made to go out. And that's a silicone coupler. Works fine. No problems with that at all. This is just a little tie-in mount that we made to go between these diagonal links. And these are glass pack looking mufflers that are actually packed with stainless steel, so they should last forever. These MagnaFlow racing mufflers are packed with rock wool, so they too should last forever. These are the exhaust dumps. The motors ended up being real close to the exhaust, so we made some stainless steel covers to go over the motors with some little Allen bolts. But that's your exhaust cutout. We have the wires covered with braided wire to protect them from heat and scarring under there. This is your wideband oxygen sensor. We made this transmission cross member for the AOD. When we installed the Turbo 400, we had to add this stainless steel plate back here to accommodate the different transmission. All right. Up towards the front, our brakes, pretty cut and dried, coilovers. It's that Mustang 2 front suspension. This is a shot of the engine, and as you can see, like I said, we pretty much used weather pack connectors everywhere, so that when you go to service this vehicle, it's not going to be a big issue where a lot of custom cars, you end up go to take the dash out, you got to cut wires. You're not going to have to do that here. This is a custom block that we made for an external oil cooler and external oil filters, which is what I wanted to tell you about next. These lines go up into the front bumper. Over on this side, you see a cover here. It's got screws all the way around that hold it in. It's not that hard to pull. The oil cooler with the fan is mounted back there. Now, over here is where your oil filters are. Do we have 2 oil filters, Troy, or 1? 1 oil filter. It's mounted right up in here. We have 20W50 synthetic motor oil in here right now, Castrol. I'm sure you'd be fine running a 1030 and probably get a little better performance out of the engine. I went with a 2050 after we broke it in just for protection. Let me see here. Anything else I can show you back here? This is the cover for the hood actuator. There's one bolt that you take out right there, and then that cover, which is sealed all the way around, comes right off, and you can access that actuator. Anything else you can think of, Troy, I should show them while we're under here? This is Troy over here. The front end, take a quick look at that with you. Kind of wish I'd have did this before we auctioned off the car. We've probably got some more money for it, but nice stainless steel grill. You're not going to be able to buy one of them. That's a custom made grill. It's one of a kind. You should never have a problem with it. But if you ever do, all those parts are laser cut, so they'd be easy to copy and trace. Walking back under the car, trying to remember if there's anything else I should tell you about. I guess that about covers it. The oil pan, a little bit on it. This is the drain plug for the oil pan back here. You'll see some plugs on the side because initially when we built this oil pan, we considered possibly plumbing some lines back into the side of the pan, and we went, what the heck, we'll put bungs here and there just in case we ever need them. This does have a front sump in it to accommodate the oil pump itself, because the oil pump sits down in this area, then the pickup tube runs back to the back. So we added a drain plug here and a drain plug here so that you can get all the oil out of that area of the pan when you do an oil change. Can't think of anything else really to show you up in here. The heater hoses and air conditioning lines, may as well show you that. They're completely hidden. They go in here and then they go up through into the body through that upper frame rail. So we'll do a quick walk under again. Maybe I'll remember something else. Well, I guess that's about it. Not too much more to show you back here. The custom tips, they make tips for these, but all the tips that we found looked horrible. So we went down to false sheet metal and they helped us make those pieces right there. All right, I guess that's about it on the car. There will be a part 3 because there's a couple things inside that I forgot to show you and I remembered after that first video. So we'll let her down and go from there.